Hello and welcome to what hopefully will be something useful to you again. This is how to get the snow on the scene that we've been working on. But before we start, a little word of warning. See how I've got a rendered version and I've got the ordinary version, which is the one we did with the colour change when we changed it out. But if you look at the bottom, it was coloured, and then if you looked in the viewer, it wasn't. I'm sorry about that. That went very quick. But anyway, just to make sure that you're using the rendered out version of the scene that we worked on, and then you'll be fine. Otherwise, you might get stuck. Right, what we're going to need is a few things to make this snow. One of them is a renderer, which is going to render the emitter, the particles. So it's a particle system which we're working on. So we need to connect that eventually. There we go. So it's connected, and we're going to use a merge at this stage, because if you're going to use something else and attach it, sometimes it just gets better practice to put that in. So then we'll put the render onto the merge and we'll give them a wiggle. I do this because sometimes you're working on something and it doesn't apply, and you think, why is that not working? It looks like it should be. But I like to wiggle them, get the little lines moving around together, so I definitely know we've made a connection. And after that, we're good to go. All right, okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at making the snow. So this is the one we're working on, the middle one with the red box around it, which we now know has got nothing on it at the moment. So we'll enable it in the viewer by hitting the little left circle, and there we go. So that's its default. It's a nice circle with not much doing in there. Now, I don't know about you, but it's standard to see it with a checker background. I like to disable the checker background as my normal thing, because when you're working with snow, you want to see it all. So I just disable the checker background, and then we can see the snow effect a lot easier. At the moment, if you see it, it's like a little load of pepper pots all within the circle, which is great news for us. We know the emitter's working, but not where we want it to be working. So we're going to have to change that. So let's move over to sorting this part out, which is the region that it's actually falling in. So if you go over there to the P emitter, make sure you're on the P emitter with the little red boxes, and go into your region, and you see it says sphere, which is what that is, that sphere there. We're going to go to all. That means it's going to be all over the area, which is what snow would be doing, wouldn't it? It'd be all over the scene. So we want it all over, simple as, and not restrained to any particular area. Now, so that you can see it a little bit easier, and it looks a bit better, we use blob. And we use the blob because we get the size control, and we can change the size of our blob, because we know snow doesn't fall particularly in any shape that's a standardized shape. It's all blobs, isn't it, really, when you look at it as it's moving past. So look at this now. We've moved up the size, and we've got a star field, which is great, but it's not going to be any good to us, is it? Because we want this star field to move, and all it's doing is it's just sparkling at us like it's a sky. Well, not good, not convincing. So what do? We need to move the snow. So we need to move these blobs around, don't we? So let's do something with it. And what do we do to make something move? We need to add a bit of movement, and it's called velocity. So think of things moving as a velocity. We shall click on the velocity, and here we go. Now we can make it move in a direction. Right, let's see where we're going. Oh, start default is left to right, as you can see, which is great for if you're doing a Star Wars movie or something like that. You've got a bit of a star field. Here you go, guys. This is how to do a star field tutorial. 2 for the price of 1. No, let's move it around. So we now need to change the angle of the blobs. Right, so let's twiddle the wheel until we see it falling down. There's one going up, going the opposite direction. Here we go. It's coming down. There we go, from top to bottom. That's how snow falls, isn't it? 271. Now, don't be hung up on the numbers, really. Just move this wheel until it in your particular one it moves in the right direction for you. I've gone the opposite way. Now I've got 425 minus 425. So as I say, it really doesn't matter about that. It just observe what's going on. All right, okay. So let's get back to it falling downwards. There you are. We're at minus 440 now. That's pretty much good. Right. But it's pretty much going in one direction, one straight down. Now we know snow doesn't fall straight down. It also doesn't go that fast, does it? It goes a lot slower normally. Let's do a bit of speed change here. So there we go. A bit more convincing this. Nice slow. Yeah, I quite like that. A bit more maybe. We'll change the variance on it a little bit. How's this working? Oh, we're starting to float back up and down now. Have you seen that? It looks like it's going up and down. It's too much variance. So we bring that back down until we start to see majority of it coming down, straight down. Because it does float sometimes, doesn't it? It does lift itself on little bits of air. So you will see snowflakes going up and down slightly, but majority all fall down and stick on the ground. Right, let's try and get them going left and right a bit. So, angle of the variance. Now you see, here we are. Look at this. It's moving left and right a bit, which is now my preferred look of snow. It's a bit more swirly. Let's get, yes, look at that. What we think, guys? So from where we started a minute ago to there, oops. I do like to break things and then bring it back, because really you can't break it, can you? Don't ever worry about that. You can never break it. So look at that there. What we think? What we thinking now? Should we leave it? Are we just going too mad here? Yeah, but that's it. That's the general thing. And over on the right-hand side, you can see. Let's just do a bit more fine-tuning for you. Noise is introduced to the blob. Now, you're not going to see much on the blob of that size, but it's useful to know that noise kind of takes some of it from a bright spot to kind of a duller version of itself. That's what I'm really simplifying it. That's what noise does. And then the other thing is we've got a lifespan. Size over its lifespan. There we go. Can you see now that if you look at it, it's kind of falling in a heavier snow. So all these little controls are all in the P emitter. And you can have a field day in here. You can literally have a field day making this snow. I hope this is giving you some kind of way of working it without having to worry about it too much. Because let's not worry about anything there, shall we? Shall we just keep? Let's have a look at the. Oh, now here we go. What do we think of that? I'm going to leave it at that. I think that's quite nice. So, if you had any fun or anything that you didn't quite get the information from, if you leave a comment and just say, could you explain it a bit better or something? But that's it in a nutshell. You're just using a P emitter, P render, and a merge, and then you'll be good to go. So there was the original, which let's compare. See what I did. Oh, that's a totally different look on the snow, isn't it? But it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. But there we go. I'm going to leave it there. I'd love you to subscribe. That made me make a world of difference to me. But thank you for watching.